It's a Super Sunday here in Raleigh, wrapping up a doubleheader to close out the series. A lot of fans in attendance anytime Carolina and State do battle. It's the first of a doubleheader at Dale Softball Stadium in Raleigh. Coming down the final 3 weeks of the regular season with Brantley Hatridge, I'm Evan Budrovich. All of a sudden, the ACC, a chance to earn a trip to the tournament on the line today. Top 10 teams qualified. Georgia Tech currently holding the 10th spot. So what a big doubleheader for NC State and North Carolina.
It's huge. North Carolina can essentially punch their ticket to the ACC tournament today. But NC State, if they were happen to take both of these games, they could separate themselves and solidify their spot with the off weekend next weekend.
Lily Backus pitched Friday night. 10 strikeouts. What a dominant performance.
From the last out of the first to the end of the third, 7 consecutive strikeouts for Lily Backus. She was wheeling and dealing.
And then in the fourth inning, State showed some life. 4 runs starting with this big swing by Goodwin.
You like the adjustments that NC State made in the fourth inning after North Carolina got 2 runs of their own, taking the lead for a little bit.
Then the hottest hitter in the ACC, now a 10-game hit streak for Alex Brown.
That triple was huge. It ended up taking the lead back for North Carolina, and then the single into left field, giving the Tar Heels the 1-run lead late.
So North Carolina held on with Skylar Brooks making a great catch, a 5-4 win in Game 1. And that's kind of the key to this series. Another tight 1-run game. We're expecting much the same here in Game 2 between Donna Papa and Devin Boland's club.
It's so interesting, Donna Papa, with all the experience, the games that she's been a part of, and Devin Boland, you know, entering the helm mid-season with the coaching change, the dynamics between these two teams and these two coaching staffs. We were in for a fantastic Game 1. I'm looking forward to Game 2 and Game 3.
So the 13th start for the true freshman Riley Wyman, who pitched 6 innings against Clemson, gave up 5 runs. Now as we get set to go, Carolina, NC State, 98th all-time meeting. So we'll get to 99 this afternoon. Maybe 100 in the ACC tournament if some upsets start brewing. And now Alex Brown leads things off. We noted Brown's red-hot stretch for Carolina. Now she has hits in 16 of the last 17 games, and that on-base percentage is nearly 60%.
And even more importantly, winners of 8 of their last 9 since she moved into the leadoff spot.
As Riley Wyman attacks the zone for her first strike. What a threat at the top of this Carolina order. .405 batting average. That's now in the top 10 in the ACC. And as we noted, 2 hits on Friday helped spark the win. No game yesterday due to weather. And Brown smacks one into the State dugout. Watch out. There was no love lost between these two on the very first batter. That was not intentional, of course, but you catch my point.
Oh, absolutely. The rivalry between these two teams. And even more interesting, that was a lefty that pulled that into the first base dugout, so she was way out in front.
Wyman stays to the heat, and that's lined out to second. There's Kaylee Lambrick for NC State. A couple of changes defensively for NC State. We've noted the injuries in right field. So Nadia Sykes gets the start in right. And then defensively, Marbury and Lambrick so key with this slap-hitting Carolina offense.
Yeah, yesterday we highlighted how NC State, if they were going to give themselves to win a game with Carolina's ability to place the ball, they're going to have to play great defense, and they did for the most part of the ball game.
Now Bree Stubbs, and Carolina will put a ton of pressure on an opposing defense. 9 ground ball outs in Game 1. There's Nadia Sykes who gets the start. Wilson started Friday. The 2 outfielders for NC State, Roberts and Goins, have been unavailable the last week. Here's Bree Stubbs playing in over 100 career games. Had a big week in the midweek. Collected another hit on Friday and hits a hard one over to Lambrick. Boy, the NC State second baseman's up for it here early.
Kaylee Lambrick's kind of bounced in and out of the NC State lineup this year. Kind of a down year for the junior. She had been the leadoff batter all year long for the Wolfpack. Struggled offensively, but as of late at second base, that's kind of what her pedigree was coming into her career at NC State, was her defensive abilities. And over these last few games, in these last few weeks actually, her defensive prowess has really shown up.
Abby Settlemeyer takes one right down the middle. So Brown and Settlemeyer have really excelled. Abby's now second in the ACC in batting average and on base, and that continued on Friday. Got on 3 times. Trying to spark this Carolina offense. 2 hits in that big 1-run win.
And normally with a 2-for-4 day in conference play, you'd see her batting average go up. It stayed right there for Settlemeyer. She was coming into the weekend batting .500.
And that's been the challenge for opposing pitchers in the ACC. Had a 3-hit weekend against Syracuse. Already 2 hits this weekend. And look at those numbers in the ACC. 26 hits in 18 games. An impressive start. And now Wyman working ahead, 1-2. On one side, we saw Lily Backus strike out 10 and look dominant on that side of things. State pitched to contact all night, just 1 strikeout as a staff.
And that's also a testament to North Carolina and their ability to put the ball in play. With the speed that they have, the way they get out of the batter's box, every time it's hit on the ground, they have a chance to beat it out.
This is popped up. Goodwin bangs into the wall. Good news, it's giving a little bit into that netting. So just a long foul ball. And knowing Hannah Goodwin's heart and hustle, she would try to rip through that wall and make the catch.
She really is the heart and soul of this NC State team. The home runs, the leading the team in batting average, her defensive abilities over there at third base. And, this is her first year wearing the NC State today red and black.
A former Clemson Tiger over there at third base. As Settlemeyer chases the rise pitch, a rare strikeout for NC State. Riley Wyman puts up 3 up and 3 down. Here's sophomore ace Lily Backus for North Carolina. The record's 13-12, but in her last 6 starts, 6-0 and a sub-2 ERA.
Yeah, and the reason why you see so many decisions factoring into Lily Backus, you see her right there, 148, just shy of 149 innings pitched. She finds herself deep into ball games, so she factors into those decisions more times than not. She gets the win on Friday against NC State, and it's interesting now. How is NC State going to respond? They've already seen 5 innings of Lily Backus. Are you aggressive? Do you try to work counts?
Used her rise ball so effectively on Friday night. Had a stretch of 7 straight strikeouts. And we noted in the open that 4th inning, second time through the order, a bit of an adjustment. And I'm curious how that plays here in the game 2.
Well, the adjustment for NC State in that 4th inning, they did not work the counts. They were swinging within the first 2 or 3 pitches.
2 quick takes for Hannah Goodwin.
I mean, looking back at my score sheet from Friday night's game, multiple at-bats saw at least 5 pitches, and then in the 4th inning, Hannah Goodwin hits a home run on the 2nd pitch. Then Caitlin Pavlik, she hits a single on the third pitch. So, I mean, it's a matter of, are you going to try to work a count with Lily Backus or swing early?
And how about the leadoff hitter taking 3 straight pitches? Goodman with that home run. She now has back-to-back games with a big fly. Sunday against Clemson and Friday night. There's an important 2-1 pitch. You do wonder the conversation that Carson Shaner, the hitting coordinator with Devin Bowen, what they had with this lineup from Game 1 to Game 2.
Yeah, I mean, with that off day yesterday, the extra day of rest for Lily Backus, she's going to be able to come out today, throw, 100-plus pitches once again, and it's just trying to figure out how are you going to work her.
This one's lifted deep to right. Air Brooks is all over it in right field. Not much is dropping in the Carolina outfield today. Skylar Brooks with a game-saving catch in Game 1 and makes a nice play once again. She really anchors this defense. Bree Stubbs, excellent in center. We've seen Alex Brown's bat, but a tremendous shortstop. There's good defense for Donna Papa's club.
And good defense leads to wins. We've highlighted this weekend so far how NC State at the bottom of the lineup, but they've really shown a nice job defensively as well.
That's off the end of the bat for Murray. Hustles out of the box, and Brown's all over it. You look defensively by numbers, Carolina hasn't excelled error-wise, but has played really good defense here in Raleigh.
They have, and with somebody like Lily Backus, I know she did have 10 strikeouts, but usually, she's going to get a lot of ground ball contact, and it's a matter of, staying on your toes on the infield and in the outfield, making strong throws over to first base.
2 quick outs for Caitlin Pavlik. Pavlik provides the pop in this NC State order as a team in the top 20 in the country in home runs, and Pavlik has 9 herself. That's a team best. And if Lily Backus is locating that fastball, could be a tough day for NC State.
Yeah, it was the rise ball that she highlighted in the first 3 innings of Friday night's contest. So, it's an adjustment. She's going to have to throw something different this time because NC State's going to key on that rise ball.
Not only has Backus earned 6 straight wins, but you see in Game 1, she was carrying the load for Carolina. Those 4 runs all came in the 4th, otherwise nearly untouchable. Picks up on that trend today with a filthy breaking ball. There are questions how deep Backus could go. 14 innings is a possibility today. Hannapol was so big getting those last 2 innings in Game 1. We'll see if that helps out Backus today. Pavlik, who struck out in her first at-bat against Backus on Friday, finished 1 for 3. Had one of the 6 hits for NC State. Goes down on the rise pitch. Lily Backus in her bag of pitches so far. A quick 1-2-3 inning. Good luck touching this if you're NC State. Lily Backus cruising through 1. Here's one of the legends of college softball, Donna Papa, second among active winningest coaches in D1 college softball. Patty Gasso and Donna Papa right up there with her. And how about on Friday night, her 1,332nd win? That was a nice start for Carolina.
Just hearing you say that number of wins just shows the pedigree that Donna Papa has been around for so long. In her 39th season coaching, just unreal what she's been able to do over her career.
This is a big year for Carolina, looking to return to the NCAA tournament. 14 trips under Coach Papa. And as we mentioned, with a win today, Carolina all but clinches a spot in the ACC tournament. Some things would have to happen, but in a great spot to get there. As this ball smashed to start the second inning. What a start for Carolina. Lycea clears the yard. And a quick start for the Tar Heels.
You know, in game one, Kirsten Lycea, she barreled up 3 of the 4 at-bats that she got all down that left field line. This time she stays a little bit back on the rise ball, and if that rise ball doesn't get high enough, this is what can happen. She clears the secondary fence out there in right center field to give Carolina an early 1-0 lead.
That's 230 and then some to clear that high fence. What a swing. And now Kirsten with her 9th home run, and one of my favorite celebrations in college softball. Now, if they do the push-up plank on top, then we're really talking. That hard slapper goes foul. That is a foul ball. This has been a bugaboo of the NC State pitching staff. 52 home runs now surrendered. I think to last year's series, 20 combined home runs. A little different this weekend, just the second, but still plenty of power when these teams meet. And Skylar Brooks on Friday night. If you didn't see it on SportsCenter or on social media, you missed out. A game-saving catch. Full-out extension in right field. That robbed Rebecca Murray of what could have been a huge extra base hit and helped the Tar Heels clinch the series. The clinch game 1, I should say.
You're absolutely right, Evan. If that ball gets by in right field, Rebecca Murray standing at third base with only 1 out at the time, down 1 run, NC State would have had a great opportunity to at least tie the ball game up, potentially walk it off. But like we were talking about, Air Brooks laying out for a game-saving catch.
Now Skylar slaps one back to Wyman. Good recovery by the pitcher. And with the speed of a lefty out of the box, that's a difficult play.
It is, and that's a base hit if that gets by Riley Wyman in the circle. So you got 4 infielders and the pitcher, but the pitcher, is, with the way Carolina likes to play the small ball, is going to be imperative today to be able to get those kinds of plays, because those are infield singles if it gets by.
Don't worry, it's just a cloud, folks. There's no rain coming. Just a cloud has floated over the ballpark. It does happen from time to time. With over an inch of rain yesterday in Raleigh, this field has dried up tremendously.
Couldn't ask for a more picture-perfect day for a doubleheader between rivals.
This is the second of 14 innings of a doubleheader on tap. And now Destiny Middleton, who's been tested a bunch at third base. She looks to get the bat going for Carolina. Hitless in game 1, but did drive in a run, and that was a big run in the comeback for UNC. State was up 4-2, and give Carolina a ton of credit because Wexelman had been one of the best pitchers for NC State, and the Tar Heels get 3 runs late to win it.
Such an exciting game that Friday night. Teams going back and forth, taking the lead, ultimately Carolina coming out on top.
Good changeup by Wyman. She has 2 strikeouts. And this is a story that we'll talk about in just a second, because coming up Friday night at 6 Eastern, number 5 Florida State at Notre Dame open a 3-game series in South Bend. This will be the first of a doubleheader with Duke and Virginia on the baseball side coming up after that on ACC Network and the ESPN app. How about Duke baseball? Series win over Louisville yesterday. And then Florida State sweeps Virginia Tech. It looked like a really good club with Lonnie Alameda.
They are. I mean, Florida State, the class of the ACC, you know, having to really fight hard to keep that top spot with Clemson right on their heels.
And the softball side of things, there could be 6 tournament clubs in the ACC, and there's Carolina at 9-9, knowing that if they get in and a good seed, could be that 7th team to sneak into the NCAAs.
Yeah, the depth of the ACC over these last few years with the additions of the programs over in Durham and Clemson, South Carolina, the ACC has really bolstered itself, put themselves to have, you know, multiple team bids each and every year for the NCAA tournament.
This is Carly Myrtle, who blasts one to Sykes, and she takes it back. That's a way to earn a start in right field. Nadia Sykes, hello.
How about Nadia Sykes? She answers Skylar Brooks's diving catch from game 1 with one of her own here in game 2, robbing double.
She says, Sykes, that's not a hit. Robbing a base hit from Carly Myrtle. Carolina takes the 1-0 lead on the Kirsten Lucia home run. And now Amanda Hassler, right in the heart of the NC State order, comes to the plate. Remember, Lily Backus struck out 7 consecutive hitters right around this part of the order on Friday. And you know that Brantley, she looked really locked in that first inning.
She did. The rise ball was working so well, but I noticed through the first inning, NC State was, for the most part, laying off the rise ball. So it's how is Lily Backus going to come back and get the outs a different way.
Well, there's that rise ball for Backus. 120 strikeouts now for one of the best pitchers in the ACC. She trails Emma Lemley for the strikeout leaders in the conference. Them and Cagle right up there among the best. And we've seen Valerie Cagle, not only an ACC all-conference type of player, but an All-American candidate. And Backus with 6 straight wins. You have to wonder if Carolina continues this hot start, could she sneak into a second or third team all-conference honor? That fastball will certainly help. You know, records are one thing, right? 13-12, and wins are one of the hardest stats to predict with team success. But the ERA in the last month for Backus is minuscule.
It is. She's really come on strong for this Carolina team as they're trying to make a postseason push.
Marks the count full to Amanda Hassler. 2 wins over Syracuse, a win over Virginia, beat Boston College, and earned a win against Virginia Tech. That's a powerful offense. And Hassler smokes one to Settlemyre. There's the first out. That is an important adjustment for NC State. Hitting the ball much harder in this game than in game 1 against Lily Backus. See, I like that's like the tiger eye black, like the two-hand. Will Ferrell on Kicking and Screaming would love that look. Him and Coach Mike Ditka eventually won the title.
Well, with a coaching staff like that, how do you not?
Pass the ball to the Italians, always important. So Taylor Ensley, who starts in the DP role again today in NC State's order. The self-described Energizer Bunny for the Wolfpack, and she had a big boost at the plate. 2 for 3 in game 1. Man, Backus with that rise ball has NC State on a string in the batter's box. Not only has Backus been winning games, but she's an innings eater for Carolina in the last month. Went 5 on Friday, has thrown complete games in 4 of her last 5, has really taken a bulk of the duties for Donna Papa in the circle.
And softball, with the way that these girls are able to throw as many innings as they are, you know, it's just like, you know, other sports. You ride the hot hand, or in this case, the hot arm. For Lily Backus, she's continuously eating up those innings, like you said, going the distance, and you know that gives your team defensively and offensively a little bit of breath of fresh air, knowing that she's going to give you a chance to win.
Backus sneaks in a breaking ball for strike 2. She's second in the ACC in innings behind Lemley, and only now within 15 innings of the nation's leader in total innings pitched. So Backus by the end of the year could easily be right up there for one of the most used arms in the country. Here's the payoff. A little self-defense, check me swing there from Taylor Ensley. We've noted with the Wolfpack with the coaching change back in March, but the approach with 2 strikes has been much better under Coach Bowen and Coach Shaner. There's Devin Bolin. And Bolin's been so quick to recognize the former player in Carson Shaner, who coaches at third, her ability to coach and develop this offense in the last 2 months.
Well, I think because of her being a player last year, she has a relationship with pretty much everyone on this team. However, in a different role now this year, instead of being a player, it's a coach to a player, but she really understands this team.
How about this swing out to right? And Brooks has other plans. Booked a first-class ticket to a fly out to right center.
You said it back in the first inning. If it's in the air and not going over that fence, it's going to be hard for it to find its way to the ground with the speed that Carolina has out there in the outfield.
What a jump by Skylar Brooks. Keep in mind, she was an infielder last year for the Tar Heels. 2-year starter on the infield, moves to the outfield this year as a way to open up the lineup for Carolina. Now looks amazing. That's a hard transition for any player.
It is. It's the selflessness of Brooks out there in right field to be able to accept that change from Donna Papa to go out there and play right field. We saw Friday night her game-saving catch, and right there made it a hard fly ball out look quite routine.
Had played over 90 games on the infield, and now in her first full season as an outfielder, robs another hit. And here's Kaylee Lambrecht. She went 1 for 3 in game 1. You don't see too many rise balls that force you to duck out of the way. And Backus, nice changeup for strike 2. There's got to be a level of confidence if you're Lily Backus just toying with these NC State hitters.
Well, she's in complete control right now, and not just Friday night and today, just last couple weeks.
There you have it, another backwards K 2 quick punch outs for Lily. Back is 6 up, 6 down for the Carolina Ace.
ACC softball, we're so competitive. ACC really isn't going anywhere because we are already here.
Another rocket, and that one's over the fence.
We are just as competitive as any other conference. There will be teams from the ACC in the World Series.
Currently in the ACC, some heavy hitters in terms of RPI and national conversation. How about Florida State, another series win over Virginia Tech? And with 5 teams getting national votes, this conference has some oomph this year in the national polls.
It is. The ACC has continuously gotten better and better over the years, sending teams to Oklahoma City. You know, Florida State just a handful of years ago, hoisting the national championship trophy.
Now a hard hit softball, good, snagged by Lambert, and that's an Oklahoma City kind of play for NC State. Think about this. Florida State, big upset in the regionals, did not make it out of the first round. And then Clemson to the Supers last year. Who's a team that could surprise some folks come tournament time?
I think it can be the Duke Blue Devils this year. You know, it's always when you talk about the ACC, it's Florida State. And then last year, Clemson made that ascension to the Super Regional round, eventually losing to Oklahoma State. But I really feel like this Duke Blue Devil team has what it takes to find themselves in Oklahoma City as the Final 8.
Duke has won 11 straight games for Coach Marissa Young, who's a Donna Papa disciple, bringing this all full circle. And all 3 of those clubs are top 10 teams. Duke, Clemson, Florida State. You'd imagine those 3 will host regionals. And then Louisville could be a surprise with Taylor Roby, an All-American candidate, having a great year. Those are 4 heavy hitters in the ACC. As that one's bunted foul by Carson Sneed. Next big hurdle for these 2 clubs is getting back to the NCAA. It's been a handful of years for both programs. They were voted 10th and 11th right next to each other in the preseason, and that's playing out a little bit here in the regular season. As Sneed chops one on the ground. What a transition by Kayla Lambert.
And that's exactly what you're going to need to do if you're NC State defensively. Usually if that ball hits the ground twice, there's a good chance that a North Carolina player is going to be able to beat it to first base. But that transition right there from the glove to the arm from Kaylee Lambrick.
Is Kaylee Lambrick a poker dealer?
I don't know.
With the way she can slide those hands out of the pocket, incredible.
You have to have fast hands here when you're playing against North Carolina.
Another test for the defense. Hassler, no chance on that one. An infield bunt single for Alex Brown, making an 11-game hit streak. And if things are falling like that, good luck for NC State.
You know, UNC practices that, the deadening of the ball right there in front of home plate. And when you're someone like Alex Brown from that left side, if you're able to just get it down and die it right there, it's a base hit almost every single time.
coming into this game, Brown was hitting .500 in the conference, so that'll continue to rise. And it's got to be a tough conversation if you're NC State. Well, we just made 2 amazing plays, and then you deaden the ball in the perfect spot. I don't know how you stop it.
You can't necessarily stop it. You just try to contain it. And you see now NC State congregating in the circle. This is the first actual base runner that is reached for Carolina other than the Lasea home run. So with the way Carolina likes to run, you could see Alex Brown trying to swipe second.
Bree Stubbs watches the first strike. That's a great point, Brantley. 3 players, including Brown, with double-figure steals. Donna Papa dishing out those signs. We'll be curious as this at-bat continues. Runner holds. That's dead and foul. And so far for NC State, they came in as the worst fielding team by percentage in the conference, but they've passed the test fielding this infield-oriented offense.
They have, and you thought that might be a factor, but NC State has kept the errors off the board.
Runner takes off. Good throw, Hassler, and able to beat it, Alex Brown. We told you Carolina can run. 9 steals for Brown.
And I like the decision right there from Donna Papa to send Brown with an 0-2 count. If she's out, you just start it back over with your 2-3-4. But if she beats it, you've got a runner in scoring position right now. Solid throw there by Amanda Hassler.
The true freshman sets up a tough play, and it sneaks past Marbury. Brown comes home, scores, and an RBI base hit for Bree Stubbs, extending the Carolina lead.
So North Carolina's aggressiveness on the base pass right there results in their second run of the ball game. Anything on the ground into the outfield like that from Bree Stubbs, Alex Brown is able to score. But the throw there by Rebecca Murray was right on target, a little bit high. But with the speed of Brown out, coming around third base, it was going to be difficult to make that play anyway.
And then Stubbs reads it perfectly, so she goes to second base, and you're basically trading new faces at the same places. Copyrighted patent 2023, ACC Network Extra. And a ground ball to first will end it. Good job by Libby Whitaker. Not before the Tar Heels extend the lead. A 2-0 start for North Carolina. There is no open grass in right field this weekend. How about on Friday night? Skylar Brooks robs this base hit. And just earlier today, Nadia Sykes does the exact same play.
Right field at Dale Softball Stadium producing some Sports Center top 10 highlight plays, one from each of these teams, and fitting that Nadia Sykes is going to be getting a chance to bat here. And then you see Skylar Brooks out there looking to try to one-up the NC State right fielder here again.
This will test the center fielder for Carolina, Bree Stubbs. And a quick first out. Now, if Sykes hits a line drive towards Brooks this inning, then we know the Voodoo Magic's in play. How about Nadia Sykes, who had not started a game since the middle of March, the Louisville series, and with injuries in right, she comes in game one and makes a heck of a play.
Yeah, that right field position is the only one that seems to not been locked down for this NC State team. We've seen a number of players out there. So Nadia Sykes, you know, defensively giving herself a chance now. Let's see how she does offensively.
Sykes is a Raleigh native out of Rollsville High School. Now earns the start for NC State. This is a young NC State lineup. Sykes and Marbury, back-to-back freshmen. And part of it's throwing a young kid into the fire and see how they respond come conference time. Hold on, we have time called. The ball from the bullpen snuck through. It's like freezing your own kicker if you're Carolina's bullpen.
It was Sean Schumacher over there at first base, saw it and immediately signaled time, right as Backus was about to throw.
Didn't seem to bother Backus there. Strike two. You do wonder strategically, if Backus doesn't go all 14, what's the limit in game one to set her up for game two?
Well, I think the way the game is going would be able to dictate that. If North Carolina is able to continue to expand the lead, you might see Backus come out, get a little bit of rest.
There's your third strikeout. So when you change speeds like this, that's a fastball swing and a drop ball result.
Yeah, unlike the rest of the NC State lineup, this is Nadia Sykes' first attempt or at bat against Lily Backus, so she wasn't privy to seeing that rise ball all night long. So, you know, it truly is a first time at bat for Nadia Sykes, and instead of going with the rise ball, Lily Backus goes with the off speed in the dirt.
Backus set her career high in strikeouts on Friday. And think about this, 3 of the last 4 starts, she's had 7 or more Ks, really locked in this time of the year. Which makes me wonder if you're Carolina, right now the 7 seed, this team's as dangerous as anybody if Lily Backus gets hot for a week.
Exactly, and the way that Carolina can, you know, just beat the ball into the ground and beat it out for infield singles, North Carolina could be a very tough out come ACC tournament time.
Marbury chases the high heat. It's a single elimination tournament hosted at Notre Dame, who's currently in that 4 to 5 seed range. Florida State, certainly a favorite. Clemson right up there with them, but you never know in those one-game tournaments who could get hot.
I mean, you have to go, you know, pretty far down the list in the ACC standings to a team that you feel like, okay, here's where we think that this is going to be the end. One of these teams above it. I mean, you got Clemson, Florida State, Duke, Notre Dame, the host, Louisville, Virginia Tech. I mean, any one of those teams could easily hoist the ACC tournament championship trophy.
Of course, last year it was Florida State holding off Clemson for the tournament title. Duke 2 years prior with their first ever tournament championship. So it's been a neat run of recent champions with Florida State mixed in there. That hits Marbury. So a 2-out runner for NC State. And typically in the ACC, Brantley, it's been Florida State or bust. But here in the last 4 years, a little more open with Duke, and you have to go way back to 2013 when someone other than Florida State won the title.
Yeah, I mean, the ACC in softball has been Seminole country. Duke, like you said there in 2021, breaking up the streak for Florida State, who had won it all the way since 2014. And these Wolfpack, back in 2013, the previous team to hoist that ACC tournament trophy.
This Wolfpack club would love to regain that mantra of 2013 and, of course, in 2015 when the Wolfpack made it all the way to the Super Regionals. That was the last time these teams met in Raleigh, 2015, with the unbalanced conference schedule. So an even count to Hannah Goodwin, who hit the first home run in Clemson program history 4 years prior. Was not a huge part of the program last year with injuries and working her way into the lineup. So transfers to NC State. It's been an immediate impact. Now off the end of the bat, Settlemeyer bobbles, so everyone's safe. That's an error for Abby Settlemeyer and 2 runners on.
And if you're NC State, this is a great opportunity to try to capitalize on that error. It just, off the bat of Hannah Goodwin, just rolls up Abby Settlemeyer there at second base, and the Wolfpack, you know, have something cooking here.
So Settlemeyer could be a costly mistake. Let's see if Backus can help her out. That's Abby's 11th error of the year. And now Rebecca Murray with new life. A hit batter and an error this inning. And on Friday night, it was Carolina taking advantage of these 2-out spots. Now NC State gets a turn here in game 2. One of the most consistent players for NC State, Rebecca Murray. Elon transfer who started almost every game in center field, always in the top of the lineup. Devin Bowen loves her consistency and experience. He'll love this swing. Brooks is charging. Oh, it dropped in. That's a base hit. Wow, I thought Skylar Brooks almost had it, and NC State benefits with a 2-out RBI single. Well, we told you it'd be tough to get a ball down against Skylar Brooks.
I mean, that's really the only way. Rebecca Murray, she was robbed on Friday night's game. This time able to get it down. How about the trap, though, by Skylar Brooks? If that scoots away, NC State ties this ball game, and Rebecca Murray standing on second or third base potentially. So I think if you're Rebecca Murray, you see that ball going, you see Skylar Brooks driving, like,
you think it's
really about to happen again? Am I really about to get robbed of another base hit from Skylar Brooks? But nope, this time drops in safely, and NC State able to cut the lead to 1.
This 2-out rally a little unconventional for the Wolfpack. A hit batter, an error. And now a chance to talk over some of the defense for Carolina with Chelsea Dobbins managing the pitching staff. Wow, of all the balls to drop in, I mean, Brooks nearly had that on the fly. And with 1 out, probably every runner holds and the bases are loaded. But with 2 outs, that allows the run to score in Marbury.
Exactly. I mean, if it's only 1 out there or no outs, you've got a bases loaded situation here for NC State. But because of the 2 outs, everyone's off and running on the pitch anyway.
Here's Caitlin Pavlik. And how about Skylar Brooks? If you're going to sneak a ball past Skylar, it's going to take a ton of work. So Friday night, a game of inches. That was in the 7th. And then the exact same effort. Oh! Game of inches here at Dell Softball Stadium.
And it's funny the way the game works out. It was Rebecca Murray for NC State both times as the batter that hits the ball to Skylar Brooks. So now they both can say, okay, each one of us, all right, I got you, I got you.
Can't wait for the 3rd time's the charm in this series. So Pavlik on 1-1. All of a sudden, Backus falls behind.
And so far, that Settlemeyer error at second base has come back to hurt the Tar Heels. Could potentially result in more runs.
Nice response from Backus.
You know, with Murray at first now in a 2-2 count, do you potentially try to get into a rundown at second base and steal a run, or do you just play it straight up?
Instead, a swing and a miss, and Lily Backus takes care of it. 4 strikeouts for Backus, 1 run for NC State. Kirsten Lisea kicks off the offense, her 9th home run of the year.
Yeah, a rise ball from Riley Wyman that doesn't rise enough. And Lisea got the party started for Carolina early with that solo shot back in her first at bat in the second.
So Lisea's having a career season. 9 home runs total entering this year. She's matched it in her final season, and then the hits and the doubles have followed suit. What a year for Kirsten Lisea. A 5th-year senior out of San Antonio, Texas. You saw the flag behind her. Probably hoping her Spurs can figure some things out this offseason. Lisea blasts another. Adios, pelota. Back-to-back home runs for Lisea.
The weekend for Kirsten Lisea is getting better.
Boink. The double boink.
That is a fantastic home run celebration, but she has barreled the ball all weekend long. First at bat goes Oppo Taco to right center, and then this time pulls it over the fence in left center field. And just like that, North Carolina answers NC State's run with a run of their own in one swing of the bat.
Both leadoff home runs for Lisea. It's like she knew the package, just showed the home run right before the break. Now this ball drops in, and Skylar Brooks with her first base hit. Okay, if you're Riley Wyman now, what's the adjustment second time through the order?
Well, you were able to keep North Carolina off balance with using her off speed and locating inside and outside. So now you're going to have to start using that rise ball a little bit more effectively. You know, I know I say this Carolina team that's not really trying to hit the ball out of the park, going small ball. I know Kirsten Lisea would say otherwise right now, but you know, with the ground ball mentality and trying to do infield singles, you just got to continue to go back in there and let your defense work for you.
Destiny Middleton, a strikeout victim, her first time up. One of 2 Ks, and we'll chat this over with Donna Papa. So Middleton makes her way back into the box. Riley Wyman, who's lived all year on basically 3 pitches, especially that changeup. We haven't seen as much of the change of speeds from Wyman today. And Kirsten Lisea is having a field day. 2 home runs. You wonder the cat and mouse game here with Papa calling time, the speed of the Tar Heels. Here's Coach Papa in year 38. Has built the Carolina program from the ground up. And you can clearly tell that NC State is prepared for this possible bunt, but now the cat and mouse game is really fun to watch.
It is, and you saw Donna Papa down there at third base kind of throw her hands up a little bit. Not sure if there was, you know, some sort of sign in play there, but nonetheless, you know, this is a solid response here from Riley Wyman.
Middleton on the move, little run and hits. Scoop by Pavlik, chance for 2. There you go. Double play, NC State.
That's just your garden variety 9-3 or 7-3 double play there for you scorekeepers at home.
And if for the runner moving on the pitch, I don't know what you could do there.
No, I mean, you're taught when you hear contact to look up and see, but Kaylee Lambrecht over there at second base, she kind of helped with that deke running to second base as if it was a ground ball.
And Skylar Brooks is fast, and she hit the brakes and went as quickly as she could. But no chance to save that double play. Only the 7th time NC State has turned a double play this year. Could be all the break that Riley Wyman needed. Starting to get hit around a little bit in that 4th inning. This one's blasted by Myrtle. A little easier there for Pavlik. NC State allows 1 run. The home run for Lisea makes it 3-1 Tar Heels. Is that not an adorable way to start your Sunday? Family, softball, and toys. Most importantly, toys. Keep that in mind for Brantley Hatchridge, my partner, who's set to have his first son born later this summer. Plenty of fans in attendance today. You taking any notes, Brantley, how to bring your kids to the game?
Oh, absolutely. Every time we go to, they show the crowd shots, I'm looking and seeing how parents are keeping their kids distracted and engaged at the same time. And you're right. Bring the toys. That's what you need. You need a bag of toys.
Keep in mind, North Carolina has a famous lion in its dugout, Tank the Lion. We'll see that throughout the series. Always got to have those rally toys as Hassler rips one out of play. That ball went all the way to the soccer stadium. NC State with the rally glow sticks and the pom-poms. I mean, there's an infectious energy to this series.
There is, and I think that also has a lot to do with the energy that the fans are bringing too. Is now consecutive weekends now where we're seeing fans lined all the way down the concourse here.
Whoa! Off the helmet of Hassler. Good news, she looks all right, but that's an odd place to get hit.
And that's not out of the ordinary for Amanda Hassler.
Did that hit the toughie on her helmet? Oh, might have just scuffed it up. The conference's leader in hit by pitches.
I was going to say that is not something she is not used to. Normally it's in that elbow pad that she gets hit, but
that's the 14th time Hassler's been hit by a pitch. Top 5 in the country behind Lindsay Mayo of Niagara, who's been hit 20 times. That drops in, a base hit for NC State. It's Ensley with the single. So 2 on, nobody out.
And last thing about the hit by pitch with Hassler, she's the catcher for NC State, so she's continuously blocking balls, foul tips going off of her body. So at this point in the season, she's got to be numb to it whenever she gets hit by a pitch. It's just another, oh, got hit. Okay, I'll go to first base.
I don't know if she's been hitting the noggin before.
No, that true, but I'm sure as a catcher, she's probably fouled right off the face mask.
That's a great point. 2 on for Kaylee Lambrick. She looks to bunt. That does go foul. But how about Hassler moving on the pitch? And you wonder if Carson Shaner has something drawn up in this situation.
With the way Kaylee Lambrick can handle the bat bunting, I know she fouls that one off. But usually she's pretty good with the bat. She's had a number of sacrifice bunts this season. So with Hassler off and running like that, you could also see a back pick from Lisea.
Another bunt. That is down, not caught. Lisea goes to first. Smart play. That was nearly a triple play if that was caught. Instead, second and third. And what if I told you in the preseason that NC State would be bunting down 2 in the 4th?
Almost making the catch was Lisea.
Lisea with the 2 home runs nearly robbed a bunt sacrifice there. So runners in scoring position for the bottom third of the Wolfpack order. Here's Libby Whitaker. This was something Devin Bowen mentioned to us from day one when he took over before ACC play. His team will bunt and be more situational than years past.
Yeah, but the bottom of the lineup for the Wolfpack need to try to find a way to produce something here. Couple times they had opportunities in game 1, unable to come up with it. Here's an opportunity now.
You can see by looking at his face, hey, will this work? Will this bunt lead to a couple of runs to tie this game? That goes way out of play. Whitaker now 1 for 3 in the series. Does have an RBI in game 1. Both her and Haley Hayslip have split the time at first base the last 2 weeks.
Let's go, Real.
And this is a huge strikeout if Backus can get it.
Whitaker was a victim of the rise ball in game 1, able to lay off it there on that 0-2 pitch.
There's the strikeout. 2 quickly gone by. Here's next weekend's featured baseball game on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 8 Virginia and Jake Geloff host the red-hot Duke Blue Devils. That's the first of a 3-game set over Davenport Field. 8 Eastern for that coverage. Duke and Virginia. Maybe no two hotter teams in baseball in the ACC than those two.
And Duke taking the series against Louisville in walk-off fashion both games.
And on the softball side, Carolina trying to clinch this series over NC State. Won the series last year in Raleigh. Game 3 was a run rule victory. That clinched it. Remember, that series had 60 combined runs, so a little different than what we've seen this weekend.
You have to imagine after that series last week, and the pitching coaches tell all their pitchers, you know, we're just not going to look at this weekend. We're just going to move forward and see what and scout next week's opponents.
Nadia Sykes at the plate, the 1-1 count. She's down to her last strike. We noted Sykes getting the spot start. She's had some pitch hitting opportunities for NC State, but her last hit, and you have to go back a minute here, that was against Louisville at the end of March. No time like the present for Backus fastball. And North Carolina holds firm with a scoreless fourth. What a weekend for the NC State women's tennis program, upsetting the #1 team in the country, Carolina, earlier today. North Carolina, an early start in Cary for the women's tournament title. First time ever at NC State, the women's program, an ACC championship, and a tremendous couple of weeks for Coach Simon Earnshaw. Give credit to this women's program beating Florida State, Georgia Tech, and Carolina in 3 straight days to win the title.
Yeah, only dropping 1 match throughout the ACC tournament. This NC State tennis team, we saw them last year. They went well deep into the NCAA tournament and finally getting those rings, those ACC championship rings for the very first time.
And that Carolina team was undefeated entering that match. A tremendous club, a national favorite, clearly. And if you ever get a chance to go down to Athens, Georgia for the NCAA tournament for tennis, it's amazing. From the Sweet 16 on, and it's tremendous stuff. Back here in the 5th, Isabella Emmerling, 8-9-1 in the Carolina order. Because I'm a Wimbledon fanatic. You'll see me in London every June, tuned in at 5 a.m. watching some tennis.
I'm right there with you, though, especially when it comes to Wimbledon. You know, the pedigree of it. It's kind of like, you know, recently the Masters was hosted down in Augusta, Georgia. Obviously, Wimbledon, you know, one of the biggest events in tennis, in the sport of tennis, having the men and the women there competing the entire time. The pageantry that comes with it. Tennis is a fantastic sport to watch. Not very good at it playing. I'm be totally honest with you.
Longtime listener, first-time caller, Brantley Hatridge, enjoying women's tennis. So, Emmerling is 0 for 1. Bottom third of the order has not done a ton for Carolina today. Riley Wyman's kept him off balance. And Marbury helps the cause with a put out. Think back to last year. Texas was the national champions in women's tennis, but Carolina and Duke made the Final Four. NC State 2 years prior was a national semifinalist, so a lot of talent on the tennis side. So here's Carson Sneed hitting out of the 9 spot. Give a ton of credit to Caitlin Pavlik in left, but all of a sudden here, Riley Wyman has settled things down after that home run.
Yeah, after the second Lisea home run, you started to see a little bit of movement in the NC State bullpen. Aisha Wexelman had got up to start throwing, but has since then sat down because Riley Wyman, as you said, has settled in here. And she's really given only those 2 hard swings to Lisea.
Oh, that thing stopped mid-flight.
That is devastating, that drop ball right there.
One thing's going full speed, the other's going half speed with that changeup. Good luck if you're Carson Sneed. Tries it again, and there you go. I'd do one more.
I was going to say, third time's got to be the charm, right? Yeah, if it's anything other than that drop ball here, I'll be a little bit surprised.
This is Carson's 31st start of the year, but a big challenge against the freshman Riley Wyman, who misses outside with that changeup. This is Wyman's longest outing since a complete game shutout of USC Upstate. That was April 11th, about 2 weeks ago. And ever since that start, Devin Bowen and staff have used Wyman a bunch more here in the conference.
Yeah, her confidence has really started to build ever since that shutout against USC Upstate. Saw a lot of time in the circle against Clemson.
Nothing speaks confidence like dropping a ball behind the circle and saying, oh, excuse me, I'm going to pick that back up. All is good when you're rolling as a freshman. And another changeup. So Wyman dots up her 3rd K.
That's a big strikeout with Sneed down there in the 9 spot, turning it over to Alex Brown and Bree Stubbs. But you see right there, she got 3 swing and misses on that drop ball.
Well, and a good changeup is a great neutralizer of a slap hitter. You know, that and the rise ball are probably the 2 toughest pitches to hit when you're slapping. Here is the hottest hitter. I know Valerie Cagle is the best hitter, but the toughest to get out in the ACC. Alex Brown gets on base at a 450 clip. That's just overall, but in the conference it's closer to 550. And now blasts one to center. Murray to the warning track, feels for the wall and has room. That's a big 3rd out. 1-2-3 for NC State. Wolfpack hit next. bright and sunny day in Raleigh, so bucket hats galore here at Dale Softball Stadium. This is the first of a doubleheader, so a lot of softball, great crowd, another sellout capacity crowd here in Raleigh. And a hot dog, because of course, I think that's your plan between games, Brantley.
Yep, with a doubleheader, forgot to bring something to eat, so it's going to be a hot dog for me.
Another close game. Carolina took the opener on Friday night, 5-4. Now 9-1-2 in the NC State order with Michaela Marbury. Well, she looks to bunt. This is Lisea, and the throw gets away. So NC State on with an infield bunt single.
Michaela Marbury putting a little bit of English on it. That backspin.
And then the ball hit her back foot. The kick save by Jean-Sebastian Jaguar, the great goalkeeper of the Anaheim Ducks, back when they were the Mighty Ducks. Carolina Hurricanes playing right now in the NHL playoffs at the moment.
Playoff hockey. What a time.
You see the Kraken last night hosting their first playoff game as a franchise. That was really neat. And then the Avalanche said, okay, enough of the fun stuff. We're going to win the match. Donna Papa having a quick discussion with the home plate umpire here, Roger Potts.
Putting those 38 years of coaching experience to the test right there, potentially asking for an interference.
Runner's interference, yeah. But she looked pretty straight on the baseline there. But umpires will all come together and confirm. And this is smart from a coaching standpoint, too, because you want to get the first base ump and the other umpire's opinion.
I'd be shocked if this goes to a replay situation. I think it's just going to be a conversation, and they're just going to go with.
So there's Marbury up the line. Yeah, she's entitled to that, that baseline.
Yeah, she's on the wide of the baseline pretty much the entire time.
Okay, so this will be challenged. Interesting. She seemed to be in the box as well when contact was made.
But with it being such a close game, you can understand why Donna Papa challenges this here. I mean, why not? But I am curious, what are they actually reviewing? Is it the base running, or like the base line that Michaela Marbury is running in? Because like you said, once she gets 3 or 4 steps out of the box, she's pretty much on the white the whole time.
I didn't notice Lisea ask for a question, right? Like usually a first baseman will say, hey, there's interference or there's a runner issue. But Coach Papa certainly noticed something. Now Devin Bowen goes, wait, what did they challenge?
Yeah, like I said, I'm curious to know what exactly the challenge is.
Devin Bowen, the former ops director, who's now an assistant coach and leading this squad for NC State. 2 months prior, he was the ops director for the former staff, and now it's been up to him the last conference series. What a year for Coach Bowen, regardless of what happens tournament-wise or not, to inherit this club and make things happen. Okay.
But this is huge. If it's overturned, that's a big out for Carolina because they're turning the lineup over. So this could be a monumental situation.
Here's the final ruling. Okay, like we thought.
An emphatic safe.
So the call is upheld. Yeah, there wasn't much there in terms of baseline issues.
Yeah.
If Marbury took a left turn and then weaved back, a little different story. But
also, I looked at as the ball hit Michaela Marbury's foot and scooted away. At that point, you're looking to see, okay, did she commit to potentially going to second base? But there was never an additional tag in play, so it had to have been the baseline.
Here's Hannah Goodwin. And she has been a good one for NC State here recently. Her on-base percentage is now up to .414, Brantley. What a last 2 months of the season for Goodwin.
And that's why you're seeing her at the top of the lineup for NC State. She just finds a way to get on base.
She reached on an error her last time up. Has been the home run spark for the Wolfpack the last 2 conference series. And this is why, at the start of April, Devin Bolin moved Goodwin up to the leadoff spot. He wanted his best hitter to get the most amount of at-bats. It's like Pablo Sanchez in backyard baseball. You put your best player in the leadoff and let him go to work.
He was a force in backyard baseball.
Oh, the ball kicks back from the light post. Good news, everyone's okay. And that look in the eyes of Hannah Goodwin, I would not want to run into her if there's a softball in the way. Some conversations with herself, very focused. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon as that one's fouled off. That's what I imagine she'd say to herself.
It's amazing what goes on in these at-bats, the adjustments that you make. We got a great glimpse of it right there. You see Hannah Goodwin talking to herself. You know, what is she going to do on a certain pitch? You know, try to foul it off, extend the at-bat.
Now Backus on 2-2. Stays low and away. 6 strikeouts for Lily and no walks. Very accurate. And a rare 3-2 count.
Goodwin with only 13 strikeouts on the season, and Michaela Marbury at first with some speed. This could be an opportunity for a hit and run action.
Now the payoff. Goodwin fights it away. This is a rare chance for NC State with a leadoff runner on to make something happen. Had the leadoff hit by pitch in the 4th, but that's been it. State has stranded 4. This 3-2 is swung and missed. Good use of the breaking ball by Backus, her 7th.
And how about pulling the string on Hannah Goodwin? Could have gone with the rise ball that has been so effective all weekend, but instead goes with the changeup, and that is a big strikeout.
And from an eye angle standpoint, that pitch starts at the same plane and then goes up or down. Good job hitting that down B button to change it up. So Coach Dobbins and now Backus on the same page here to face Rebecca Murray. Murray goes up the middle. Are you kidding? There's one. Make it 2 with Licea's pick. Murray's been robbed of hits all weekend, and another one here for Carolina, keeping this a 3-1 lead. Here's what's cooking in Game 2. Lily Backus 7 punch-outs so far and kept NC State to 1 run.
She has 10 strikeouts on Friday night, follows up with an additional 7 here today. but it's been the bat of Kirsten Lisea that has really got this UNC offense going. Not one, but 2 home runs on the day, both solo shots, and a tight-knit ball game. This could be the difference.
And that's all Carolina's needed today. It's a 3-1 score. So NC State in the 6th goes to the bullpen. Here's Asia Wexelman, who, let me give you some perspective here. In ACC play, a 3.8 ERA. So has trimmed that down, thrown a ton of more strikes, and here she is in the tight ball game.
Yeah, the fireballer for NC State, 83 strikeouts on the season, so she's averaging almost a strikeout per inning. Works off of the fastball. She has developed a changeup that we've started to see a little bit more this year. But this is her 2nd relief appearance of the weekend. Got touched up a little bit in the loss on Friday, though.
Went 3 innings, did give up 3 big hits, including the game-winning run for Carolina back in the 6th. Wexelman, though, was amazing against Clemson. 11 innings, 2 runs allowed. Really kept the Wolfpack in it. That one's fouled off by Bree Stubbs, who just turned a 8-3 double play. It was an interesting base running move there by NC State, and Carolina took advantage.
Yeah, well, we've already had the 7-3 put out from Pavlik to Whitaker earlier in the ball game, and then you get Stubbs to Lisea.
Lambert, toss. Wow, that is so difficult to do, and she makes it look easy.
I love Donna Papa's reaction over there at third base. She is looking at her first base coach, actively wanting her to say, challenge this. She wants a challenge every time it's close, but...
Well, the sell job by the first base coach, too, is important, right? Like, you got to stick the arms out. Make sure you sell. There's Jordan Dale over there at first saying, hey, no, safe, out. You got to...
Well, it's so funny because Friday night and then again here today, multiple times Donna Papa has looked at Coach Dale and said, challenge. Do I challenge this here? And almost every time she just shakes her head no.
And my apologies, that's Coach Dobbins over there at first base.
Sorry.
But more importantly, you got to challenge when you get the chance. And if you're in the front row, watch out for rise balls from Asia Wexelman. Can touch the low 70s with that fastball.
I wonder, just like to stay on the good graces of Donna Papa, every now and then, go ahead and challenge it.
We've already seen one challenge from Carolina today. And here's Abby Settlemeyer. This is the 2-3-4 part of the order. And Settlemeyer, not your traditional 3-hole hitter, but she's developed power this season. 8 home runs, 9 doubles. More of an on-base threat in her Tar Heel career. That one just missed. It's a full count.
And Settlemeyer's been kept in check today. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to the first baseman.
Got her swinging. Good pitch by Wexelman for the first K. NC State has always known Asia Wexelman has the heat, and there you go.
And that's a big out there getting Settlemeyer, because with Kirsten Lisea now coming to the plate, you don't want anybody on the base pass the way she's swinging.
I'm going to ask again, and we saw this last weekend with NC State against Valerie Cagle. Do you pitch to Lisea here, fresh off 2 home runs?
I would say yes, just because we're not talking, no offense to Kirsten Lisea, Valerie Cagle is in a league of her own when it comes to hitting and pitching as well. Kirsten Lisea is having a fantastic day, but if you're Asia Wexelman, you're going to go at her with your best stuff and see if you can get her out. And
this is nothing new for Kirsten. Had 2 home runs in her last 2 games entering the weekend, so 4 home runs in a week. It's dead red on 2-0. The 5th-year seniors having a big-time power year, 10 home runs. And a big 2-1 pitch from Wexelman. Okay, 3-1. You have to be really smart here if you're Asia.
Well, like you said, Evan, this could be like that intentional walk that we saw from NC State against Valerie Cagle last week, and let somebody other than Kirsten Lisea beat you.
There it is, a 5-pitch walk. So Licea's on all 3 times. And now the test with the speed of Skylar Brooks at the plate. That's the 50th walk of the season for Asia Wexman. That's the most of any NC State pitcher. Brooks, that's fair. Goodwin, late. And a nice pick by Whitaker. So first and second with 2 outs. Now a special pitch runner coming in for Carolina. Yeah, that's definitely an infield single. Good hustle. I don't know how you make that play. You almost have to let that roll foul, right, if you're the third baseman.
Yeah, at that point, that's really the only chance you have of it being a positive outcome for NC State. Looks like we're getting a double switch here, a pinch runner and a pinch hitter.
So what does the Fox say? Caroline Fox is over at second. And the pitch hitter, Lexi Godwin, who did have an at-bat on Friday night. There's the secret of the Fox. Okay, enough puns for me in this one. Godwin's turn. So Godwin from nearby North Johnston High School, 5th-year senior.
Boy, a base hit here, given an additional insurance run.
Whoa, Whitaker robs it. Nearly a base hit for the pitch hitter Godwin. NC State 6 outs to work with, down 2. Very close. Game 2, 3-1, North Carolina. The real difference has been Kirsten Licea, 2 solo home runs. And then NC State clawed back for 1 in the third, but they've stranded multiple runners the last 2 innings.
It has, I mean, but Lily Backus has just been so good in the circle for North Carolina. She's kept NC State while getting runners aboard pretty much from crossing home plate. It was the hit by pitch and error that led to the 1 run for the Wolfpack. So no earned runs yet today for Lily Backus.
So Caitlin Pavlik up, 3-4-5 for NC State. So Pavlik's 0 for 2 with 2 of the 7 strikeouts for Carolina. Worth noting, Kiana Jones is now in at first base defensively for the Tar Heels. That great outfield still out there, though, with Sneed, Stubbs, and Brooks, who have already turned a double play today out in center. All of a sudden, it's 2-2.
Yeah, so we're both double plays today have been outfield assist double plays.
There's Stubbs, who just had one a minute ago. And then Brooks, who's a human magnet in right field. Good luck getting the ball down. Full count now to Pavlik. Now Pavlik's the 3 result hitter. Leads NC State in strikeouts and in walks. Can go one way or another here on 3-2. Instead of foul ball. As you mentioned, Brantley, 1 unearned run for Backus. That's been it. 7 punch outs, no walks, and now the payoff. Fights it away.
You know, being a former pitcher myself, the most impressive thing to me is not the strikeouts, not the scattered hits. It's the 0 walks. No free passes to this point. That is not a stat that you usually track, you know, how many innings or games you throw without walks, but that is a huge factor in a ball game.
Good battle here by Pavlik, staying alive. One of the longest at-bats of the day for NC State, and they need it with 6 outs to work with. If Carolina holds on, this will be the 3rd straight series win over NC State. Everyone in the crowd getting tested here on foul balls.
What an at-bat here by Caitlin Pavlik and Lily Backus.
10 strikeouts yesterday for Backus, now 10 pitches. And this at-bat to Pavlik. A chance for the trifecta of strikeouts. Dot him up. 8 Ks now for Backus. Our spring football and NFL draft prep coverage continue next week with the spring recap. Monday night at 7 Eastern. And then Tuesday, another year of our Welcome to the NFL special at 9 Eastern. The night before the draft, we'll preview all the ACC players who could be picked at 8:30 Eastern. That's Wednesday night. If it's football, we got you covered right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Glad to have you here for a softball doubleheader as well. Look at Brooks sprinting. That is foul. Not much is going to stop Skylar Brooks today. And now that fan wants a picture. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Skylar. You can pose for the photo. Garnering some mad respect from the NC State fans.
I thought for a second she was going to try to lay out for that one. Thankfully, she didn't, with it being right there along the fence. But
that human instinct just kicked in.
I mean, she is leaving it all out there in right field for her team.
There is no flight. It is all fight response from Brooks. Nearly robbed Murray of a hit today. She had another one on Friday night. And Hassler's down 0-2. Only 3 hits for NC State. Ton of credit given to Lily Backus this afternoon.
You know, it was the second at bat where NC State kind of got to Lily Backus yesterday, and so you were just curious how she was going to respond here today. And through 5 1/3 innings of work, she has been phenomenal.
So Backus in this series, 18 punch outs to only 2 walks. That is darn near perfect. The old 9-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That's what Lily Backus has left. Nearing that 90-pitch mark. Threw over 100 pitches on Friday, but got the day of rest with no games on Saturday. Good job by Hassler fighting off that rise ball. She took one off the noggin her last time up, a hit by pitch, and then ripped one to second in her first at-bat. So it's 2-2. It looks like Hassler's figured out that rise ball on this at-bat.
And she's done a nice job laying off of it. With 2 strikes, though, I noticed that if she feels that the ball's gonna be above her bat, she's going ahead and dipping and giving up on it.
So the at-bat continues. Remember, a 11-pitch at-bat to Pavlik, and that was a strikeout. Now pretty lengthy appearance here for Hassler.
Yeah, by my count, this will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat.
The crew confirms your mathematics. So here's the 2-2. Pitch 8 is popped up. Backus taking care of it herself. And those are 2 of NC State's best hitters. What a 2-batter sequence for Lily Backus.
Yeah, both of those at-bats lengthy in number of pitches. But to get away with that with both of those runners in Pavlik and Hassler being outs, that's huge because, you know, we've talked about it. The bottom of that NC State lineup has struggled as of late. So if you're able to get through 3, 4, and 5 here to potentially set yourself up for the 7th inning at the bottom part of the lineup, that'd be huge for North Carolina.
Taylor Ensley takes up. At 94 pitches, it's the long game and the short game for NC State. This is a doubleheader. And we know Backus can throw back-to-back games with ease, but it does get tested the longer she works here in this first game. Not slowing down at all on pitch 95.
That's why if you're North Carolina in a perfect world, you'd have had a lot more runs to this point, and instead of it being a 2-run ball game, but because of it being a 2-run game, Lily Backus is having to stay out there in the circle because of the way she's throwing.
All of a sudden, 1-2 to Ensley. And Lily Backus dynamic on Friday with the 10 strikeouts, but today a little more ball friendly than maybe she would like, but is pounding the zone at the right times.
I mean, 2/3 of her pitches have been strikes, so she's been effective in her misses as well.
Backus wants a 7th straight win, and that would date back to the early part of April. That was a big doubleheader sweep over Pitt with some rain altering that series. And ever since, Carolina's now back to 500 in the conference. Can move to 10-9 with a win today. And by all indications, that 10th win, barring a Herculean collapse of the conference, would put Carolina in the conference tournament.
Yeah, this is a huge weekend for North Carolina. Love to get that 10th, potentially 11th win here.
So the payoff is fought off. The longest inning of work by pitches for Lily Backus. And it's only 3 batters in.
Yeah, NC State has done a nice job working counts here, fouling off, spoiling good pitches here in the 6th.
Rolled to second. Settlemeyer gets a tough hop and recovers. 3 up, 3 down for Lily Backus. Still a 2-run game. 3-1 game as we head to the top of the 7th. North Carolina a chance to clinch the series in front of a sellout crowd. Another good weekend of attendance here at NC State. Anytime you pit two nearby rivals, it always does amplify the matchup. And the first time since 2015, these teams have met here at Dale Softball Stadium. So 8 years in the making when these kids were in middle school as players. Think about that for a second. Here's the first pitch strike to start it off to Carly Myrtle. Myrtle's lined out to right, to left. Rebecca Murray's on an island by herself waiting for the softball next. Good rice ball from Wexelman. How important is this inning for NC State on the circle?
Huge. You got to find a way to keep it at a 2-run deficit going into the bottom of the 7th. You've only got 3 outs left to work with.
Lambrick gets enough of a jump there to make the catch. You could tell she was crossed between, do I leap out of the building or do I let it fall to my glove, and made the right decision.
Those liners off the end of the bat are always so hard to judge, whether it's one of those, like you said, have to jump for it or if it's just going to fall harmlessly.
So Bella Emmerling, who's been really good defensively all year behind the plate for Carolina, now looks to spark the offense. 0 for 2 at the plate. Leanne Giannetti and this pitching staff have really unlocked Asia Wexelman here in the ACC. Her defense certainly helps, and Marbury's there for the second out. Friday night at 6 Eastern, got a big matchup. Number 5 Florida State and Notre Dame open a 3-game softball series in South Bend, where the conference tournament will be. That's the first of a doubleheader that Friday night with Duke and Virginia. That'll be at 8 o'clock. But to kick things off, Deanna Gump's Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Lonnie Alameda's FSU Seminoles. That could be a tournament regional preview. Then you got Karina Gaskins versus Michaela Edenfield and another slap single for Carson Sneed. It's her first hit of the game.
That's such a difficult defensive play to be made with the speed that Carson Sneed has coming out of that left side. You get it over the third baseman's head like that, and there's no chance that you're going to be able to throw her out. Michaela Marbury makes the smart decision and just holds it in her glove.
7 hits for the Tar Heels, only 3 for NC State today. And now the hottest hitter in the conference, Alex Brown. You see another base hit for Brown. Has 3 hits in the series, is now in the top 5 in the ACC in total hits, and that'll all figure itself out in the next 3 weeks. Might have another here, and there you go. A team-leading 18th multi-hit game for Alex Brown. It is just rinse, wash, and repeat.
And Carson Sneed getting on base, though, allowing Alex Brown and Bree Stubbs and Abby Settlemyer to potentially get at-bats here. Try to get an insurance run. You know, you feel good with Lily Backus in the circle anytime she steps in there, but, you know, with a 2-run lead, you'd really like to try to get at least a 3rd, potentially a 4th-run lead across.
2-out chance for Bree Stubbs. And then keep in mind, Settlemyer and Lassay are coming up soon, so a lot of power here for the Tar Heels. Well, that tests the net a little bit.
Well, Abby Settlemyer is 0 for 3 today. If you're Aisha Wexelman and NC State, you want the inning to end here with Bree Stubbs.
Wow. Settlemyer had to move out of the way there at the last second. And then it almost ricocheted and hit Coach Papa. It's like a cardinal sin. Thou shalt not hit thy coach. Here's the 0-2. Whoa, watch out, Coach Papa. Quick duck now ricochets into the dugout. That's a different level of reaction time when you're basically 60 feet away. Coach Papa's club looking for the series win today. And Goodwin tested. Quick trigger is late. Runner comes home. Carolina scores. Snead in. Safe at third. Brown follows suit. What a base running display by the Tar Heels.
Good job out there.
And that's why with North Carolina's ability to run, you just continue to send the runner, Donna Papa, right there. Makes the throw over to third.
Yeah, see, and Whitaker was really pushing that stretch, and it may have cost her at the plate.
Now, this is not the first time this has happened for NC State this year, where with 2 outs, ground ball in the infield, and the runner at second base comes around to score. Happened earlier in the ACC schedule, and so I'm not sure if that's just a scouting report or just aggressive base running by North Carolina, but nonetheless, the Tar Heels get that all-important insurance run that they were looking for here.
There's Leanne Giannetti talking to the pitching staff and Coach Papa. Carolina wanted to be aggressive on the bases this weekend. Multiple steals earlier today, and that's basically stealing a run to extend this lead.
It absolutely is. And it's so tough if you're NC State because you've got weak contact, and yet it ends up being an RBI single.
Still a 2-out chance for Abby Settlemeyer. And as you mentioned, 0 for 3 today. Let's see if she can break out of it with 2 on. Runner takes off for second. And that's an easy steal. Now a base hit for Carolina could really put this game out of reach. Oh.
Right here, Abby. Find a hole, Abby.
With runners on base, Abby Settlemeyer hits .485. This is her strength. And Wexelman's in danger of walking the bases loaded for a hitter who has 2 home runs today. A little food for thought, Thori, on a 3-0 count. And all of a sudden, the bases are loaded for the super slugger today, Kirsten Lisea. I don't know, this is tough now for Asia Wexelman. She walked Lisea on 5 pitches, now has to face her with nowhere to put the slugger.
Yeah, it's a tall task for Aisha Wexelman, but you know, with her velocity, if she can get in on the hands of Lisea, she could, you know, neutralize her ability to extend it. Because both times for those home runs, she's able to get her hands extended, and with the power that she possesses, easily able to drive it over the fence.
Oh my goodness! First pitch deep. Murray with room. Oh my gosh! What a break for NC State. Last chance to swing it here in the 7th. It all comes down to this. Bottom of the 7th, Carolina, NC State. UNC can win the series with 3 more outs. So as you'd imagine, Lily Backus goes back to work in the circle. NC State with Lambrick in the bottom half of the lineup. They have to find some production here. Only 3 hits allowed by Lily Backus.
Yeah, she's been fantastic for Carolina here today. 3 outs away now from clinching the series against an I-40 rival.
First pitch, line drive. Lambrick puts NC State on the board. What a huge leadoff home run.
The hardest hit ball of the day for NC State, and it's Kaylee Lambrick. The junior just gets it right over the middle of the plate.
This ball might have been hit to I-40. And that's a start NC State needed. There's 1.
Yeah, but that insurance run there in the top half of the 7th could be huge.
So NC State will sub out Libby Whitaker, and here's Madison Insko. Tremendous pitcher, also can hit. So Insko checks in as a freshman. And she's out in front of that drop ball. So Insko has 13 hits this year, including 2 home runs. And another drop ball.
If you're NC State right now, just between 7, 8, 9, one of those, try to find a way to get on base to turn it over for Hannah Goodwin.
3rd time's the charm. Emmerling does complete the process, so there's the first out. And Backus now up to 9 strikeouts. But how about this? No walks and only 4 hits allowed.
That's such an impressive feat. The stats, for Lily Backus show that she's going to be around the plate, but to see it in action here now, like you said, 9 strikeouts, and NC State is, emptying the bench right now, trying to find some sort of spark here in the 7th inning.
So here's Brooklyn Lucero for NC State. The junior takes strike 1. Lucero had a pitch hit RBI in Friday night's loss for NC State. Only her 4th at-bat of the month of April, so big opportunity. Marbury's up next, and then that top of the order. So if 1 runner gets on, this is a game changer for NC State. Lucero rolls one to second. Settlemeyer settles in for the 2nd out, and Carolina 1 out away from taking the series.
And Settlemeyer played that candy hop perfectly right up into the glove.
Last chance for NC State. True freshman Michaela Marbury, who's been on twice, needs to get on a 3rd to extend it. Lily Backus searching for her 12th complete game and a 7th straight win. This would clinch the series for Carolina. That is foul. So last strike here for Marbury. The home run by Lambrick gave a little bit of life for NC State. And now what is left for this Wolfpack offense? Top of the order next. Here's pitch 110 from Lily Backus. Out to right. Here Brooks is all over it. And Carolina takes the series. 2 quick wins for North Carolina. And now the Tar Heels in a great position for the ACC tournament.
They are. North Carolina's come to Raleigh, done what they needed to do to secure the series. Another fantastic pinching performance by Lily Backus. Kirsten Licea's 2 home runs, the difference in the ball game. And North Carolina looking for the sweep here in just a few moments away.
Thank you for joining us here in Raleigh. North Carolina behind the 12th complete game from Lily Backus take the series. We'll come up in 30 minutes to end the series for Game 3. But for Brantley Hatridge and our crew, I'm Evan Budrovich saying goodbye. We'll see you in a little bit as North Carolina takes Game 2 4-2.